General Hospital spoilers tease that General Hospital is facing one of the biggest pressures in the show's history as its viewership continues to decline significantly. This is not just a temporary dip, it reflects a real crisis for the daytime soap opera that has spanned decades. As more viewers move away from Port Charles, the obsession with the show's decline is overwhelming the producers, writers, and even loyal fans. The loss of a large portion of its audience not only impacts GH's reputation but also poses a real threat to the long-term survival of the show. The elements that once made the show a massive success are losing their appeal as storylines drag on too long without breakthroughs, or plots become tangled and fail to create strong emotional connections with viewers. Many key characters have been written out or been absent for too long, while new story arcs haven't been compelling enough to fill the gaps. This has placed GH in an unprecedented difficult position. The threat to the show has become more apparent as the ratings continue to plummet. A daytime show like General Hospital can only maintain its position if it attracts a steady audience. But when ratings are no longer strong, it means the producers might have to make tough decisions, possibly cutting budgets or altering the creative team. If this situation persists, the biggest risk is that the show could be cancelled permanently, something no one wants to think about, but is becoming more of a reality. However, amid this tough time, a new condition is emerging. There's an urgent need for breakthrough changes to keep the audience engaged. GH can't continue down the same old path if it hopes to turn things around. The producers need to find ways to create more engaging stories, bring back beloved characters that audiences once adored, and trim unnecessary and redundant storylines. One of the possible moves to help GH regain its allure is to bring back iconic villains. Characters like Heather, Faison, or Helena once provided unforgettable moments for the show, and their return could create more compelling drama. In addition, the return of characters like Jax or Jason could forge a stronger connection with the audience, making them feel that GH is still preserving the familiar elements they once loved. Furthermore, the show needs to rethink how character relationships are built. Over time, some romantic storylines have become too rigid or failed to create the desired appeal. Dramatic relationships with unexpected yet logical twists need to be emphasized so viewers feel they have a reason to keep watching. The current state of GH is one of the biggest shocks the show has ever experienced. Without decisive and timely actions, the show may lose its top spot in the daytime TV world. But if the production team can take this opportunity to reform and make meaningful changes, GH can absolutely recover and come back stronger than ever. The question is, can General Hospital regain its former glory, or will this be the final chapter of a television icon that has lasted for decades? What happens next will determine the fate of the show, and all GH fans are eagerly waiting to see if the show can rise again from its struggles. Frank Valentini is making controversial decisions, and this is creating an uproar among the General Hospital fanbase. Under his leadership, the show has undergone significant changes, but instead of refreshing the content in a positive way, GH has fallen into a chaotic spiral where key characters are disappearing, storylines are becoming convoluted, and, most importantly, the audience is gradually losing its connection with the show they once loved. One of the most serious issues GH faces is the departure of legendary actors who have defined the show for decades. These iconic characters are not only the soul of GH but also a bridge between generations of viewers. However, under Frank Valentini's management, many important characters have been written off or faded into the background, causing the show to lose its original identity. This is not just a simple change but a break in the way content is structured, affecting the entire foundation of GH. The departure of key characters does not only affect the content but also directly impacts the viewership. When the audience no longer sees the familiar faces they've followed for years, they lose the motivation to continue watching. They don't just watch GH for the dramatic storylines, but also for the relationships they've built with the characters. As those characters disappear, the audience's bond with the show gradually weakens. Meanwhile, the new storylines introduced are not compelling enough to fill the gaps left behind. GH is making a major mistake by trying to change too much without a clear strategy. Lengthy plots that lack connection and fail to build to a satisfying climax have left many viewers feeling frustrated. The new characters that have appeared lack the depth to replace the ones that have left, which only leaves fans feeling more disappointed. Amid this, fans are beginning to ask a big question: has the time come for ABC to act to save GH? One of the most strongly proposed solutions is to fire Frank Valentini. Under his leadership, the show has gone down a dangerous path, and without change, GH may not recover. ABC can't continue to ignore the current state of the show as ratings continue to decline sharply. Without timely adjustments, GH could face the risk of being permanently cancelled in the future. Replacing Frank Valentini with a new team could offer hope for GH. What the show needs right now is not just an executive with managerial skills but also someone who understands the value of GH and knows how to balance innovation with maintaining the core elements that made the show successful. This change could not only help fans feel respected but also provide a new promising direction for GH. If ABC truly wants to save GH, they need to ensure that the show is realigned in a more sensible way. This includes bringing back important characters, creating deeper stories that connect with the show's past, and trimming unnecessary plots that dilute the content. Now more than ever, GH needs a bold change to restore its place in viewers' hearts. This is a defining moment. If ABC continues to keep things as they are, GH may continue to slide down the ratings, and one day, the show may no longer have a place in daytime television. But if they take bold action, GH can reclaim its former glory. So, what path will ABC choose? Will they let GH continue its crisis, or will they act to bring real change? The future of GH now depends on the most important decisions to be made, and fans are anxiously waiting for an answer from ABC. General Hospital is returning to its roots, bringing an exciting comeback of legendary faces that fans have been eagerly waiting for. In a surprising move, the show has confirmed the return of three iconic characters, Jax, Sam, and Britt, marking a significant turning point in GH's journey. The return of these characters is not just a huge shock for the audience but also opens up completely new directions for the show's storylines. Recently, GH has been criticized for losing too many important characters, causing the plot to become fragmented and disconnected from Port Charles's rich history. But now, with the return of Jax, Sam, and Britt, everything is changing in an unpredictable way. Jax's return is one of the most surprising, as his departure had been surrounded by controversy. Jax was once a character who brought balance to the power struggles in Port Charles, and his return could bring new problems to those currently in power. Will he face off with Sunny once again, or could there be an unexpected relationship with Carly as she struggles to regain balance in her life? Jax has always had his own philosophy when it comes to justice and protecting those he loves. With the recent changes in the city, Jax's presence is sure to create new conflicts, making Port Charles even more intense and dramatic. Sam is an irreplaceable character in GH, and her absence created a large void in the show. Now that she's back, the biggest question is, which path will she choose? Before leaving, Sam went through many challenges, from her romance with Dante to the mysteries surrounding her family. But this time, will she continue to dive into dangerous adventures like before, or will she find a new, more mature direction? Furthermore, Sam's return could affect Jason if he is brought back in the future. Will their fate still be intertwined, or has their relationship completely changed? These questions will open up many possibilities, keeping fans on the edge of their seats. Britt is one of the most beloved characters, and her return is a special gift for fans. After the events of the past, will Britt return as a villain, or will she experience a new turning point in her life? With the recent events at the hospital and the power struggles in GH's medical field, Britt could become a key player in this conflict. She may return seeking justice, revenge, or to reclaim what was once hers. However it unfolds, Britt's return is sure to bring thrilling drama, making GH more captivating than ever. With the returns of Jax, Sam, and Britt, GH is entering an important transformation phase. This not only brings exciting storylines but also allows the audience to feel a connection between the show's past and present. Can the return of these characters help GH regain its momentum and keep its audience hooked? The confrontations, new mysteries, and emotional reunions will surely keep fans eagerly waiting for every episode. GH has listened to its audience, and this time, they are bringing a promising new chapter, where familiar faces will return, and iconic stories will continue in the most surprising ways. The return of Michael and Dex marks an important turning point in General Hospital, as the show continues to adjust its storylines to regain audience interest. But it's not just the return of these two significant characters. A bigger shock is being confirmed. Carly and Sunny might be retiring. This not only affects their personal lives but also shakes the entire Port Charles, where they've built power for decades. The departure of Sunny and Carly from the power struggles has completely changed the balance of Port Charles. When the two key figures no longer control the city, others will seize the opportunity to rise, creating a fierce battle for influence. A new power struggle is erupting, crazier than ever, as many forces begin to target the power vacuum left by Sunny and Carly. No one can predict the next upheaval, but one thing is for sure, without Sunny's control, Port Charles's order will change drastically. Michael is returning in a completely different position. He once tried to distance himself from Sunny's underground world, seeking his own path, but now, with his father's withdrawal, will Michael be ready to step up and take over the empire? Will he follow in Sunny's footsteps to protect his family, or will he continue to fight against what his father built? Michael has long struggled with inheriting Sunny's legacy or creating a new future for himself. But this time, he has no choice. If he doesn't step up, someone else will, and that may not be someone he wants. Dex's presence makes things even more complicated. With his proven skills and loyalty, Dex could become a decisive factor in this battle. But what no one knows for sure is whether he will remain loyal to Sunny or seize this opportunity to build his own empire. If Dex decides to fight for power, can he surpass Michael, who has the advantage of being Sunny's son but lacks the real experience to run an underground organization? The relationship between Michael and Dex could change forever, from potential allies to bitter enemies. Carly's withdrawal also creates a lot of turmoil. She's not just an important part of Sunny's life, but also one of the most influential characters in Port Charles. When Carly leaves, who will step up to face those who want to exploit her absence to manipulate the situation? Carly's relationships, from Jocelyn to other key figures, will be affected. If Carly is truly out of the game, who will replace her in these tense, scheming confrontations? Jocelyn may have to grow up quickly to protect what Carly has built, but will she be able to handle the rising forces? When Sunny and Carly are no longer at the center, other forces will certainly fight for control of Port Charles. Those who once lurked in the shadows now have the chance to rise and change the city's existing order. New villains may emerge, unexpected alliances may form, and once loyal characters may betray to gain higher positions. This power struggle is not just a battle in the underground world, it could also affect characters not directly connected to the criminal world, throwing everyone into an unprecedented danger zone. Will Nicholas return to try to regain his position? Will Valentine take advantage of this opportunity to return with a bigger plan? Will old forces like Cyrus or Brennan emerge to exploit Sunny and Carly's absence? This is not just a fight between Michael and Dex, but could turn into a battle with multiple forces involved, turning Port Charles into a ruthless battleground. The producers of General Hospital are doing everything they can to regain the trust of their audience, and this is clearly reflected in their recent steps. The return of Michael, Dex, Jax, Sam, and Britt is not just part of a strategy to improve ratings but also a sign that the show is listening to its audience. However, the most important thing is not just the return of characters but how they are integrated into the plot to create engaging, dramatic moments. Without a solid plan, these returns could just be a short-lived gimmick with no real impact. What fans are hoping for right now is not just the return of characters but a story that is compelling, a power struggle that has real depth, and memorable moments. GH is at a crucial crossroads. Can they seize this opportunity to build a strong enough story to keep viewers engaged, or is this just a temporary effort to salvage the situation? As the new power storm rises, GH is entering its most chaotic period yet, and everything will depend on how the next moves are made. The future of Port Charles has never been more unstable. New forces are rising, old alliances are breaking, and characters thought to be long gone may return when least expected. Can Michael truly stand his ground in a role he's never been ready to take on? Can Dex become a key player in the power struggle, or will he betray everyone to carve out his own path? And most importantly, will Sonny and Carly really retire, or is this all part of a bigger plan they haven't revealed? Whatever the answer is, one thing is certain, GH is entering a new era, a dramatic chapter with unprecedented showdowns. The power struggle in Port Charles has never been more enticing, and the audience won't be able to take their eyes off what happens next.